Now that the dust of the Halloween update has settled, it wouldn't be a proper update if the fans weren't freaking furious about something. And in this situation, I feel like I'm one of the only ones who's actually sane. I feel like I'm the only one who's making sense. And when I say that, that's when you know something's actually wrong. And it has to do with the new Halloween tunes. Apparently, everyone thinks that these guys are freaking broken. They think they're stupidly too overpowered. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to break it down and make it make sense. But, my friends, there's also new merch for Danny's World. We'll talk about that. And we have a couple more loose, Gordy theories that I kind of wanted to pick apart. So let's get into it. I just posted another video like literally half an hour ago, and I'm recording this one now. So I don't know your guys' opinions on the Halloween tunes yet. Currently, everyone on Reddit is very adamant about the holiday tunes, the Halloween tunes, just being outright broken. Every post is talking about how they're OP, and all the comments agree. I have not seen one comment with pushback yet. So let's go ahead and read this post. Like, get it? Ribecca has average stats, but is completely immune to incoming debuffs. Sorry for train whistle, and is really good for solo runs. The solo run point is a really good shout. But to me, full transparency, I think this is just a good, solid passive ability for a normal tune. And it's fitting of the character. I think Ribecca being broken is a little blown out of proportion, but comparatively to her common tune friends, yeah, it's night and day. She's way better. She's actually playable. And I guess in that sense, maybe a little bit broken. Okay, fine. You've changed my mind on that. Sylvester, despite being slow, can literally tank the Twisteds with his ability and can complete machines faster than V. Crazy. The part when you say can complete machines faster than B, that's a strong argument. That's hard to argue with. Out of all of the Halloween tunes, yeah, Sylvester's the most broken, in my opinion. Like, this actually is just a broken character. But the gimmick of 1 movement speed and 1 stamina, it's fun. It's a fun character. It's a fun character. So, like, let's keep that at the basis of our argument. Like, it is just fun. But that, I don't want to rely on that because that's such a cop-out answer. He's broken. Yes, I agree. Okay. Okay, if this person says Eclipse is broken, I hard disagree. Eclipse has pretty good stats and become a really good distractor during Blackout. Hard agree. Hard agree. I think Eclipse just became the definition of an off distractor, specifically in Blackouts, because they can still be a good extractor. Like, they're not bad. In case you're wondering what an off distractor is, for example, when there's certain twisteds like Goob, when it makes it really hard to loop around other twisteds for the main distractor, you can have, for example, Eclipse sub in and distract. Or, for example, during Blackouts, Eclipse just distracts, period, right? She literally just gets better. Not broken, but very multi-purposed. Oh, not multi-purpose, but Swiss Army Knife. Swiss Army Knife character, it's good. And Gordy. Gordy, he's pretty much Yada and Tisha combined. Free speed every floor with great stats. What more can you ask for? Not asking for a nerf, but dude, these stats are really great in general. Okay, I like the way you said that. These stats are really great in general. Not broken. Not broken, just a little bit too strong. And I disagree with that, though. I think the only real argument is, like, Ribecca's the best common tune. Great, we agree. Cool. Sylvester, little broken. Little broken. Eclipse, nah. Gordy just has amazing stats. Trick or Treat, in my opinion, being a fun ability. I mean, a cooldown of 35 seconds, though. It's pretty... Yeah. I mean, you could be using that 4 times a floor. But it's a random boost, so you don't know. It's like randomly giving everyone Gumball. But Sugar Rush is great. I don't think he's broken. Sorry, this is just such a hot conversation. I know, I already talked about it, but, like, I've never disagreed with the community more. I don't know. I really want your guys' opinions. Let me know. Do you guys think they're broken? Please. Like, Reddit thinks they are. Does my audience, does YouTube think they are? Also, don't know how this happened. Don't know where this came from. But what the flip? There's Halloween merch already? What? The Discord didn't even make an announcement about this. That's actually so sick that they didn't make an announcement about this. Okay, so here's Twisted. Why did I say Twisted? Here's a Gordy plushie, which is insane. We got a sweater. I can't see it, though. Ooh. Yo! That art on the back is so electric. Okay, I have to get that. I like that a lot. Oh, how much money am I about to spend? Oh, God. All right, I can pre-order Gordy. Oh, God. $38. How much was Dandy? Oh, God. No. Oh, God. I can't cap on a stack. That sweater is pretty metal. It's pretty freaking rad. Oh, dude. Oh, if I want it, it's only gonna cost a small price of $132. As a creator, like, this is my job. I hesitate to do that. That's a lot. I'm gonna think about that when I'm not recording. That's a lot of money. All right, moving on. Here's the theory I was talking about. We're about to get into this. So, Not Stick Fig said, I think I know why Gordy's parents don't have a face. Analysis, which I think this is gonna be crazy. You can actually predict how this kid's parents doesn't show his face. That'd be insane. I mean, I personally thought they're blurred out because for some reason or another, whoever turned him twisted didn't want him to remember his parents. He fought it the most. Gordy was taken from his family. We don't know if the rest were or what it specifically happened, but I thought they were blurred out because he couldn't remember their faces, and it was simply just kind of like a foreshadow connection. But let's see what they think. Oh, boys. Okay, this is a crazy lore theory. All right, throw up the gameplay. We're getting into it. I think we can all kind of agree that Gordy is one of the most tragic toons in this game. He's a kid who feels somewhat isolated from his peers due to his age. Can't see the other toon his age for most of the year, is tasked with the extreme pressuring burden of being a main character toon, etc. There's been a few differing ideas as to why this is the case, so I'm here to present my own take on it. Bear with me, it'll be a bit long. You've seen a piece of media, show, movie, game, where a character has had their face obscured. They can be seen from the waist down, they can have their back turned, etc. They can have a voice, they can have relationships, they can't show their face, for whatever reason. Most of the time, this character is going to be relatively unimportant compared to the ones who have faces. They typically won't take part in adventures, they won't be seen outside their designated environment, but you at least know they're there. Yes, there are exceptions, and some characters can break away from this, but they're very few and far between. Most of the time, these characters tend to be adult figures in main characters' lives. This mostly comes in the form of parents, but it's not strictly limited to parent-child relationships. There are other family members, teachers, and if the protagonists are animals, pet owners, or humans in general. A modern example of this is The Loud House. For the first season, the faces of the parents, Lynn Sr. and Rita, were completely obscured. Sure, they were given faces in season 2, but by the time they were given a more active role in the show, with some episodes even dedicated to them, back in the first season, they were little more than a device to move the plot along with not a lot of depth. For a more classic example, most of the owners of Tomcat have never shown their face. Instead of being viewed from the neck down, you know, Tomcat from Tom and Jerry, one of the most influential animated series of all time. Yeah, there have been a few exceptions, notably a few exclusive ones and the one from Gene Deitchi's run of the series, but those who tend to be a lot more involved in the antics of cat and mouse, for better or for worse. He then says how this is known as a TV trope, known as the phenomenon, the faceless. And the reason that they use this trope is for typically mundane adults, how functionally these characters are absent in the lives of the kids. Gordy's a kid, so Arthur and Delilah likely wouldn't want to have him running around all on his own. It'd be a bad example for the kids. However, they likely got lazy when making this because, in all honesty, having multiple pumpkin characters, likely with little to differentiation themselves from each other, would be sort of boring. Unlike characters like Cole, Flight, Sylvester, they don't have enough to make them stand out compared to their son, who is the main character of the Halloween specials. They aren't marketable enough, and they're likely so minor of characters that they won't be anyone's favorite. Making toons out of them would be a waste of Iker. And really, that's the issue here. Arthur and Delilah brought the toons to real life. They made a living, breathing child who, of course, would have to have parents and his memory of them, but they never bothered to fully conceptualize what they look like. None of this would have happened if they cared to think about the implications of this. Regardless though, talking about the trinket, the memory locket, the locket's now covered in Iker, and it presumably can't be uncovered anymore. And the image inside is likely damaged from the liquid inside. His parents' faces have been lost to time forever. Poor kid. In a nutshell, they were essentially saying that Gordy's parents weren't relevant enough to give faces, is essentially what it is. One of the implications of him being taken away from the family, in turn, would have allowed for Gordy to remember their faces. For whatever reason, Quell just didn't want us to. And that's fine. With that being said, boys, I am so tired. So tired. Got a fun video planned for tomorrow, and I'm hoping I can edit this one up real nice and good. So smash like, stay tuned, and check out my live stream if you haven't already.